She appears to be the beautiful school belle. But in reality, she lives in a 10-square-meter doghouse. Her gambling addict father owes millions of debts. Now, the creditor is threatening her to pay off the debts for her father. She ends up in an impossible situation. She called that man again. When the man heard that she wanted to borrow 500,000, this man didn't hesitate and gave her a full 5 million. When the money-grubbing ex-girlfriend knew that the man was now wealthy, she knelt down and cried, begging for reconciliation, but the man just gave a cold smile. Once he was at 3 a.m. Carrying his girlfriend, he ran 10 kilometers to the emergency room. He saved up for half a year to buy his girlfriend a phone. But she complained that it wasn't the latest model. He once knew that his girlfriend was vain. But he always believed she would come back. But the passionate young man from the past is gone. And all of this is thanks to his ex-girlfriend. The man today will never hang himself from a tree. Seeing a favorite internet celebrity, he could easily spend 10 million. Meeting the art school beauty that many people secretly admire, he can directly take the beauty to see houses, and then buy a 50 million yuan riverside villa, and give it to her as a little gift. Finally, under the powerful financial ability, countless girls were actively attracted by him, but just a short time ago, greened. The goddess sent a message breaking up with him, which panicked him. Qin Yuan panicked and started typing frantically. He said he was already planning for the future. Whether it's a car or a house, he will have it. Begging not to break up. But in the end, there was only an exclamation mark. My roommate called for Qin Yuan to play a game, but found that he was already disillusioned. Qin Yuan angrily slammed his fist on the table. He was going to explain to the goddess in person. The roommate is already accustomed to looking at the instant noodles on the floor. This is the 8th breakup this month, right? Isn't that the sweet dog King Qin Yuan? He's been dating Lin Shutong for 2.5 years. Goddess Lin Shutong asked Qin Yuan not to be like this. Right now outside, everyone is watching. Qin Yuan bought Lin Shutong her favorite braised pork with preserved vegetables, and asked for her forgiveness, promising to change. But in the eyes of his classmates, he's just a joke, and is known as a clown in the neighborhood. There is no one like Lin Shutong. Lin Shutong said she was not upset. Her ex-boyfriend came to reconcile with her. She thought her ex-boyfriend needed her more. As soon as she heard from her ex-boyfriend Qin Yuan, she became anxious. Huang Kai. Then, what am I? Shutong, have you forgotten? He's a scumbag who even came out and made you hit him. At this moment, Huang Kai arrives in a luxury car, and urges Lin Shutong to get in the car. Qin Yuan, let's not see each other again. I'm afraid my boyfriend will misunderstand. Qin Yuan watches the two of them leaving. Feeling extremely uncomfortable, he became a clown again. Qin Yuan threw the braised pork with preserved mustard greens into the trash can. Then he went to the convenience store. He really couldn't understand. Why is a sincere heart always let down? Can I only be a sweet dog for my whole life? Suddenly Qin Yuan felt that being a sweet dog wasn't so bad. As long as he's sweet enough, he won't be just a sweet dog, but the king of the sea king. Ding dong. Detected a qualified host. The ultimate sweet dog system is successfully activated. Looking at the information on the system, Qin Yuan realizes that he has awoken the system, but he has no idea how to use it. Suddenly, a girl's cursing came. She's been staring at me since just now. Are you sick? He's a complete loser. A sarcastic girl was seen scolding Qin Yuan. From the system, it was learned that her name is Su Lele. At this moment, her liking for Qin Yuan is extremely low, but as long as her liking for Qin Yuan exceeds 95, she can change her identity. Let her become Qin Yuan's sweetheart. Qin Yuan was dumbfounded. This is too. Qin Yuan took the initiative to apologize. He paid for today's expenses. Licking dog. Su Lele sneered disdainfully, trying to flirt with me? Pretending to be wealthy? Do you have the capability? The classmates who were shopping all turned their heads in this direction. They had heard before. Lele used just 3 sentences to make a man spend 30,000 on her. Looks like this guy is going to be in trouble. Qin Yuan is not afraid. Do you have the ability? Why don't you give it a try and see for yourself? Su Lele decisively took out the payment code. She wanted to treat all the classmates present at the convenience store to snacks, and the money will be provided by Qin Yuan. Wearing a full set of street vendor products, he still wants to impress the girls. Today, I'll show you what it means to be embarrassed. But the next second, Su Lele's phone received a message about a 50,000 yuan deposit. Everyone was shocked. 5,000 was paid without hesitation. Seems like an ordinary loser, but turns out to be a hidden rich guy. Do I have enough qualifications to add you right now? Qin Yuan opened his own QR code. I'll go. Is this guy really a second-generation rich? The treasure kids are posting comments in the comment section. Check in to protect animals, and trigger an animal effect. Come and try which effect you have. Sulele actively approached. She said she could join if she wanted, but she needs Qingyuan to accompany her somewhere. Then she plans to take him for a big cut there. This is the most luxurious shopping mall in the city center. Sulele turned to look at Qingyuan and uttered a very classic line. Just to clarify, I am not a materialistic woman, I just want to see your attitude. Qingyuan smirked coldly. It's obvious he's trying to build up his own intensity. But as a gold-loving lapdog, he's not at all genuine. I can also use her as an experiment for the bootlicker system. Kai, do you think this bag looks good on me? Suddenly, a familiar voice came from beside. Qingyuan looked over. It was just someone he had recently broken up with. Then Lin Shutong got into her ex-boyfriend's luxury car. At the same time, Lin Shutong also happened to see Qingyuan. A showdown of pride and face-slapping is about to begin. Your ex-girlfriend? Looks like I came at the wrong time. Qingyuan smiled slightly. No, you've come at the right time. Sulele asked the store assistant about the current popular handbags. But the store assistant said there's only one left. Now it's being used by the girl. There's some disgust in Lin Shutong's heart. She wants to let Qingyuan see the difference between falling silk and rich second generation. Kei's birthday is coming soon. Lin Shutong is carrying a handbag. She expressed her wish for Fugu to help her buy. Huang Kai was somewhat displeased. Birthday? Didn't you just celebrate your birthday? That's the lunar calendar birthday. She hasn't celebrated her lunar birthday yet. Shutong, be good. You know I don't like girls who are too materialistic. You didn't start a relationship with me because of money, did you? Right. Once these words were spoken, Lin Shutong's face turned ugly as if she had eaten shit. At this moment, Zulil took the bag. Sorry, if you don't buy this bag, I will. At this moment, Zulil's good impression of Qingyuan is rising. Licking dog. In a short while, Sulele's affection for Qingyuan increased by 60. For the first time, Qingyuan experienced the joy of financial ability. Licking dog. The two shop assistants were discussing eagerly. They found that some rich second generations were actually quite snobbish, while some seemingly ordinary people spent money ostentatiously. The words cut like a knife to Lin Shutong's ears. She wanted the rich dude to slap Qingyuan's face, got hit instead. Exactly. A bag is like a boyfriend. Both are snatched and most useful. Sulele also enjoys adding fuel to the fire. She decided to firmly seize the big fish Qingyuan. Thank you, honey. You're so good, honey. Sulele intentionally got close to Qingyuan. Lin Shutong saw it and was immediately driven to tears. Qingyuan, you've gone too far. She broke through Qingyuan in tears and escaped from here. Qingyuan sneered. Was he overreacting? He wanted Lin Shutong to look good. After all, he had a reputation. In that moment, Qingyuan locked in his second lapdog target. And she was none other than Lin Shutong, who had dumped Qingyuan countless times. Feeling relieved? I did pretty well just now, didn't I? Where are we going next? Where to? Of course, we're going to continue shopping. Are you satisfied with just buying one bag? No, I'm not. But that's not enough. In addition to cheap bags and clothes, Qingyuan directly packed. Give all the precious things to Sulele. At this moment, Sulele is carrying a large number of luxury goods. She is so happy that she's almost in tears. This is not over yet. Whether it's expensive perfume, the global online sales are booming, or luxury clothes, Qingyuan keeps buying and buying. Sulele thinks that's about enough. She can't fit any more into her rented apartment. It's okay, I'll just buy you a set of rooms. Qingyuan is about to transfer money, but this has made Zulil feel pressured. It seems inappropriate for the first meeting to be like this. Qingyuan thought about it and found it to be true. Don't be too hasty. Qingyuan directly mentioned Sulele's interests and hobbies. If I didn't really like her, why would I be so abrupt? Then Qingyuan asked the clerk to process a membership card. He gave Sulele 500,000 yuan. If I startled you just now, consider this card as a gift of apology. After all this effort, Sulele has found extreme happiness. My heart started pounding. If you really feel bad, just offer yourself to me. Just a few words, and Sulele's favorability increased by 50. Qingyuan feels the joy of having money power. Rich people and losers are indeed different. Sulele asked. You bought so much for me. Don't you want to buy some for yourself? Qingyuan waved his hand to indicate that he had no money. Sulele smiled slightly. It's my turn to give you a gift now. Knowing that she shouldn't just take without giving, you have to show some confidence. Later, Zulil picked out some clothes for Qingyuan, and he asked teacher Tony for help with his hairstyle. Just like that, Qin Yuan transformed from a loser to a successful person. He is handsome now, for sure. A perfect combination of looks, wealth, and status. Su Leilei's heart is in turmoil. She never expected that Qin Yuan could be this handsome. But she still does not know. I'm about to become Qin Yuan's lapdog. Watching Mimi's live stream, the man sends 10,000 rockets. The goddess lies and says her mother is sick. He knows it's fake but still transfers 50,000 yuan. As long as it's spending money on women, he's willing. After helping Su Leilei pick out a large number of gifts, Su Leilei also changed into a new outfit for Qin Yuan. Now she thinks Qin Yuan looks handsome no matter how she looks at him. Perhaps this is the charm of money and ability. Su Leilei even took the initiative to show off her skills in seducing men. Then the two people separated. Today, I am very happy, thank you, Brother Yuan. For several moments, I thought I was in love. At this point, her favorability rating reached 60 points. Once it reaches 80, she will become Qin Yuan's dog. After parting ways, Qin Yuan returned to the dormitory. His roommate was shocked on the spot. Qin Yuan casually stated, I went on a date with Su Leilei. You can forget about it. Lam Shutong can't handle Su Leilei? She's the campus belle of the art department. Lao Si, be realistic. Listen to me, these girls are unpredictable. At this point, Lam Shutong sent a message to delete each other. Qin Yuan certainly wouldn't delete it. She still needs to keep it to maintain a good impression and to keep her as a slave. Qin Yuan immediately replies, while Lin Shutong says she is not materialistic. But her mom is sick. We need money for 5 blocks of medicine. Qin Yuan transferred the money without hesitation. Lin Shutong screamed directly. She was just speaking casually. Qin Yuan really transferred the money. When my roommate saw me being so generous, she asked if it was Huang Kai. Huang Kai, my foot. He wouldn't even buy me a bag. It's Qin Yuan, the Qin Yuan I dumped today. Now she's confused. Wasn't Qin Yuan a poor guy? Could it be that I made a mistake? She quickly sent a message, asked about today's events over and over, then pretended to be pitiful. A classic green tea statement. She used to be so high and mighty. How could he be so indifferent at this moment? And he didn't even bother to read the message she sent. Do not disturb. Qin Yuan knew he couldn't rush. He had to deal with Su Leilei first. Qin Yuan feels that spending money this way is too slow. Is there a faster way to spend money? After all, the dog money, consumed, only 1/10 will be converted into his private property. Suddenly he had an idea. You can go and watch the live stream. You just opened the live stream and saw the currently popular internet celebrity Xiaomi. Xiaomi is currently asking for gifts with an arrogant attitude. Lonely one cigarette. Xiaomi, can I be your #1 fan? Everyone says he's showing off. After all, being a #1 fan requires over 1 million. With just 1 million, you can be a #1 fan. It's much faster than buying a bag. Then Qin Yuan sent out the most expensive rocket. Xiaomi quickly made a heart-shaped gesture to express gratitude. Thanks for the rocket sent by Lonely Cigarette Brother. Suddenly Xiaomi's eyes widened. A spiraling rocket suddenly soared into the sky. Because the gift of cigarettes is not just one rocket, but 100 rockets times 100, which is consuming 1 million. At this moment, the live broadcast room exploded. Those are 100 rockets. Equivalent to 1 million, just like that, spent. The audience who was just mocking Qin Yuan are now all worshipping him. Qin Yuan sneered. They are all just a bunch of lowly people. Just 100 rockets earlier was not satisfying enough. Qin Yuan decided to give them a little more shock. This time, Qin Yuan directly changed it to 900. Then, without hesitation, he started to click. In an instant, the live broadcast room was dominated by rockets, filled with rockets. At this time, there was a strange noise coming from the Shark headquarters. Boss, something's wrong. Just now an unknown tycoon spent 10 million in one go on Xiaomi. The boss was shocked, and the first thing that came to his mind was, could this person be laundering money? Meanwhile, in the female anchor's lounge, several popular female anchors got wind of this and began privately messaging Lonely Smoke. This is Qin Yuan's first time receiving so many messages from girls. Millet, who got brushed, was extremely happy. She even suspected that she was dreaming. Then she pinched her face. Found this to be true. Then the boss personally spoke up, insisting on taking down Lonely a cigarette, and a bonus after success. How could Xiaomi not know? This kind of big daddy, she must not miss, and definitely not give to other hosts. Thank you Maloneyly Brothers Rocket. Brother, can you DM me? I'll make you a moderator. Xiaomi began to speak gibberish. Then she started sending private messages to Qin Yuan. Little did she know, Qin Yuan had already peacefully fallen asleep. That's how the night passed. The next day, the mysterious tycoon's deeds made it to the hot search. I could buy a dozen houses in my hometown with 10 million. I would wake up laughing even if I had a million in my dreams. At this moment, Qin Yuan was awakened by his roommate. He was puzzled. He spent so much last night and still didn't form a connection with Xiaomi. Licking dog. Do we have to meet in person for the relationship to become official? Does it have to be in real life to establish a relationship? Wouldn't I have wasted my money then? When Qin Yuan opens a shark, found that all the messages are from Maisie Jiujiu. Hurry up, if we're late, there won't be any good spots left. At this time, 3 roommates are getting ready to go out. Qin Yuan asks Ren where he's going. Why not bring yourself along? Of course, to attend class. Today is a general studies class. We can appreciate the goddess Zhao Yuqi up close. You used to run even faster than us. What's up with you today? Qin Yuan remembered that Zhao Yuqi was a goddess at school, and the dream girl of countless singles. Thinking of this, a bold idea emerged in Qin Yuan's mind. She had been a sweet school beauty for 30 years. Countless people want to pursue her. But without exception, they were all scared off by her good girlfriend, and the goal of men is not only to win her over, but also to make her their darling. Zhao Yuqi is not only the school flower, still the vice president of the student union. She reached grade 10 in piano in elementary school. Both ballet and fencing have reached the level of an athlete. No one has been able to beat her in the past 3 years of college. Qin Yuan couldn't help but feel a little excited. At this time, some girls from the back of the class were looking at Qin Yuan, and instantly becoming infatuated. Lin Shutong and her best friend also saw Qin Yuan. Is that Qin Yuan? How come you look so handsome after a few days of absence? Are you dressing up just to show off to me? I think so, but I have Kaiga now. Oh, my heart isn't such a mess. What if they end up fighting? It's just a simple fantasy. Her fondness level increased by 30. Qin Yuan couldn't help but curse. Just a change of clothes and she's like this. What a shallow woman. Just as Qin Yuan was thinking about how to bind Zhao Yuqi, there was a noise of cheering from the side. Come on, boss. Let the goddess dance for you. With the encouragement of his followers, the man with green hair reached out his hand to Zhao Yuqi. Babe, add a satellite, okay? The green-haired person is getting closer and closer. Zhao Yuqi's bestie Xiaofei exploded on the spot. Let's get to know each other and be friends. I'll take you there. I haven't finished talking. Little Fei caught the green hair before he could finish. Are you looking for trouble? How dare you have any ideas about our Yuqi? It's a misunderstanding. I just want to consult the vice president of the student council. So timid and fawning, the toad wants to eat swan meat. At this moment, Qin Yuan spoke up. Yuki, I also want to join you. Zhao Yuqi turned around. The blush on the face makes people even more charming. This guy is really brave. Who gave him the courage? Jolin Tsai? Laughter immediately spread around. Xiao Fei also asked. Looking better than the last one. What do you mean? Do you also want to join the student council? I'm not interested in the student council. Then why did you vote for Yuqi Wei? Qin Yuan opened his hands nonchalantly. Isn't that obvious? I want to pursue her. As soon as he said that, Zhao Yuqi's delicate face turned even redder. The blush became even more shy. The whole classroom was shocked at this moment, admiring Qin Yuan's courage. Just when everyone thought that Zhao Yuqi would refuse, she smiled and agreed. Sure, I'll scan you. As she said this, she took out her phone. Her best friend asked Lin Shutong, isn't Qin Yuan your boyfriend? What's going on now? What's the situation now? Qin Yuan is so smart, and everyone loves beauty. There's no need to be secretive. Simple also means effective. Licking dog. They left the teaching building. Several roommates were discussing what had just happened. Yuani, can you ask Zhao Yuqi to introduce some girls to us? Suddenly, a cold snort sounded. It was the green-haired man who had just been rejected by Zhao Yuqi. Qin Yuan was not afraid, and replied directly. He succeeded in provoking Bailan. His words instantly got under the green-haired guy's skin. It made him so mad that he wanted to start a fight. Yuan, you're so slow. We've been waiting for you forever. It's Su Lele. She looks stunning today. And she's wearing an outfit that no one can resist. Everyone is instantly shocked. Su Lele from the Art Academy. Straight guy slayer. Brother Yuan. I deserve to die. I made Meizhong wait for me for so long. Give me a chance to invite you to dinner to make amends. Su Lele twisted her waist coquettishly. Yuan Gij, do you think this outfit looks good on me? You bought it for me, after all. Who looks good in clothes? This bag looks best when you carry it. These words were like a knife in Lin Shutong's heart. You have to know that before yesterday, Qin Yuan was still her lackey. Lu Mao cried. He didn't understand where he lost. I don't understand. Where did I go wrong? Suddenly, a voice of greater grievance appeared. Why? I was clearly here first. What does she think she is? At this moment, Lin Shotong is crying like a pear blossom in the rain. I really can't accept it. What exactly is the reason that made the campus belle cry like a pear blossom in the rain? It turns out, it's the loser ex-boyfriend who was abandoned by her. At this moment, the nerd has become the big boss. Straight man killer. Has become his devoted little fangirl. She hates. She's furious. She's crying. She's unwilling. She deserves it. Friendly reminder. In this episode, Qin will perform textbook-style flirting skills. Get ready to take some notes. At this moment, Zulil and Qin started their two-person date. Zulil took out the prepared gift. This is the painting she stayed up late to draw for Qin. If you dare to casually throw it away, I won't let you off. Qin was a little at a loss. Because this was the first time in many years that he had received a gift from a girl. Do you like it, brother Yuan? Qin was very clear in his heart. This is the bait prepared by Sulele for him. Since the moment Qin started spending money on her, she had already planned how to trap Qin. But today's Qin is no longer the same as before. Seeing Qin silent, Sulele is a bit nervous. He seems not very happy. Do you not like this gift? Then Qin spoke up. Why did you give me this? I drew this staying up late. If you don't like it. Before she finished speaking, Qin took it and started performing. If you can't receive such a good gift in the future, how will you be responsible to me? You bad guy, you scared me. Give me back the painting. Just one sentence made Sulele blush. Suddenly, Qin grabbed her hand. Sulel. I prefer you as a person, to your gift. Qin words are like magic, and Sulel is under a spell. Caught in it, and unable to extricate himself. At this moment, Qin is simply not human, but a handsome and cunning magician. Sulele's heart beats faster. Her likability score also rises again. Qin smirked. He had completely taken control. Want to control me? Be a pawn and collect coins for me. Sulele. Suddenly, a large hand flew in. The sudden turn of events interrupted the magic show. The newcomer was a bespectacled man. He cried and asked Salil. Lele, didn't you say you were going to get a manicure with your bestie? Who is this guy? The goddess is being teased by a handsome guy, but suddenly interrupted by her lapdog. Because the goddess said she was doing manicures with her bestie, but now she's getting cozy with someone else. Glasses pointed at Qinyuanda and shouted, he must be very rich. I have been chasing you for so long, and you won't even let me touch your hand. Looking at Glasses, Qinyuanda suddenly understood everything. He was too familiar with this temperament. It's just like I was a few days ago. Sulele became anxious. Who are you to me? What does it have to do with you whether I date or not? At this moment, Qinyuan approached Eyeglasses. Hello, classmate. My name is Qinyuan. What's your name? How long have you been chasing Sulele? The one with glasses is named Wan Yu. I've been chasing Sulele for 2.5 years. He really is a lost young man. Then Qinyuan brushed aside his hair and gazed deeply, saying, Uncle, I once pursued a girl for 3 whole years. Worked 5 part-time jobs to give her a better life. And ate plain steamed bread and pickled vegetables every day, but she ended up getting into her ex-boyfriend's Mercedes. Hearing this, Glasses felt it personally. Getting so angry that she shivered. Those who betray us will become the driving force for our self-improvement. What's the big deal about not having a wife? Go back to the dorm, forget about her and strive for success. After achieving success, let her regret her choice. These words deeply moved Glasses. Sulele, however, has an expression of emotion. What's going on? Wang Yu actually cried. Then she explained to Qinyuan. Brother Yuan, he is just a friend of mine. I didn't expect it, but Qinyuan just said lightly. Lele, I don't care about your past, but I feel that you don't respect me enough. Saying this, he tore the portrait in half in front of Sulele. The card I got you can still be used. But before you sort out your interpersonal relationships, let's not meet again. Leaving these words, Qinyuan left with a smile. In fact, Qinyuan had long been delighted. He was really looking forward to how Sulele would respond to his tease and retreat. After Qinyuan left, Sulele remembered a lot. The first time someone was so accommodating to him, the first time she felt so special. Thinking of this result, she couldn't help but shed a few tears. He truly likes me. But I messed it up. Now Sulele feels extremely guilty. Instead, Qinyuan is using a strategy of letting me go in order to catch me. Sulele's favorability has increased by 5 points again. just as Qin Yuan expected. It's true that women should not always be spoiled. They should initiate contact sometimes. Now Su Leilei's second tower has been pushed. It's time to attack Zhao Yuqi. Suddenly, Qin Yuan found that Zhao Yuqi was live streaming. Could it be that she is also a live streamer? She's been the school's beauty, single for 20 years, but secretly, she's a trainee who live streams for 2.5 days. Has the special skill of singing, dancing, and playing the piano. She has just started live streaming, and she's already in a conflict with a popular internet celebrity. But the outcome is surprising to everyone. Qin Yuan looks at Zhao Yuqi, who is streaming, with some surprise. Vice President is really cute. Could it be that she is the type who appears cold but is passionate inside? But there are very few viewers in her live broadcast room. At this moment, someone sent a message to Qin Yuan. It was Xiaomi, who sent rockets for her last time. Qin Yuan asked if she had time to meet up recently. Xiaomi said she's fully booked recently. Qin Yuan immediately felt a bit unhappy. Last time, I swiped so many times and didn't even get a match. I might as well swipe for the vice president. A prompt pops up at this time. Zhao Yuji is playing PK with someone. Generally, new anchors lose when there are few viewers. Even when they connect with more popular anchors, Qin Yuan is eagerly looking forward. This will be fun to watch. Oh no, I've actually matched with a new girl. Looks like I've got this in the bag. So, Zhao Yuqi's match is with Xiaomi. Qin Yuan, who was angry, gave a cold smile. What a strange coincidence. These two people actually ended up together. It can be said that both of them are Qin Yuan's targets. This is going to be fun. As soon as the connection started, Zhao Yuqi was crushed. Sister, take a break. Even if your hand is worn out, you can't beat me. I have a tycoon like Yan Ge as my backer. As soon as this was said, the live room exploded. Brother Yan? Is it the top-tier tycoon from last night? He's already trapped by Xiaomi. Xiaomi is confident that with her superb fish-raising skills, she will definitely have a tight grip on Brother Yan. You can play around between the palms of your hands. Just then, a familiar rocket appeared in the live broadcast. Brother Yan is here? Thank you, Brother Yan, for your support. Xiaomi unconsciously uttered thanks. But the next second, she was directly petrified and shocked for 10,000 years, because the rocket was not for her swipe, but for the other new girl. The gap between the two widened. And Yan Ji didn't just make one shot. He fired a whole 1,000 rockets. Even Zhao Yuqi and Xiao Fei were shocked. They could hardly believe their eyes. Damn. Turns out it wasn't brushed for me. Xiaomi gritted her teeth in anger. But she couldn't understand why. Not long after, the boss sent a message. An explanation is needed for what just happened. How should Gong Xiaomi explain this? The sudden turn of events left Xiaomi a bit flustered. She hurriedly claimed that something came up and had to end the broadcast early. The backlash came swiftly, and the live stream chat exploded in an instant. Lonely cigarette. Qin Yuan looked at the barrage and laughed. I can give you gifts. I can also give to others. This shameless face, wanting to control me? Qin Yuan glanced at the cute vice president. Let's send 1,000 rockets. If she knew it was Qin Yuan who did it, I'm sure she wouldn't be disappointed. At this moment, there was another strange cry from the Shark headquarters. Boss, something's wrong. That lonely cigarette. The boss was so shocked that he broke out in a cold sweat. He donated 10 million? Could this guy be a crown prince from an oil-rich country? Inside the anchor's lounge, several anchors also learned about this. Yan Ge made the donation on the Piano Anchor's channel. Does Brother Yan like music today? Shaoli, quickly bring my Suona and Pipa over. Not long after, the mysterious tycoon once again appeared on the hot search. Xiao Fei is extremely happy. If this continues, Yuqi will become a famous internet celebrity. Zhao Yuqi coldly snorted. Internet celebrity? Trying to please men online is not a long-term plan. The most important thing for a woman is to have a career, economic and personality independence. Do you understand? Xiao Fei smiled in her usual way. Then she began to gossip. Tell me the truth. Do you know the tycoon who sent you so many gifts? Do you know him? Zhao Yuqi's little face turned slightly red. She said many times that she doesn't know him, but she was still a little curious. After all, he sent so many gifts. Out of politeness, she had to send a private message to thank him. Who just said that pleasing men is not a long-term strategy? You're saying one thing and doing another. Suddenly, Zhao Yuqi let out a deafening sound. She pointed at the phone and looked at Xiao Fei. Her eyes were full of disbelief. Xiao Fei, I might really know this extravagant guy. Because the mysterious extravagant guy who sent him gifts turned out to be the handsome guy Qin Yuan who publicly added him a few days ago. Zhao Yuqi couldn't understand how Qin Yuan could be so rich. Then a story appeared in her mind. Yuan has been a rich kid since he was young, but he only wants to live like an ordinary person. Having been through elite education, he has had enough of others' admiring gazes. He just wants to live freely. Until one day he met the girl of his dreams. Then decided to pursue courageously as an ordinary person. Xiaofei was somewhat speechless after hearing this. She seriously doubted. Yuki had read too many CO romance novels. It must be like this, he has always had a life of luxury. Is it tough to pretend to be an ordinary person? Thinking about this, Zhao Yuqi decides to show some sincerity. At this time, Yuan has just finished showering. Suddenly, the phone notification rings. Opening it, it's a message from Zhao Yuqi. She wants to invite Yuan to dinner. Then the two agreed to have crayfish tomorrow. They will meet at the school gate. Yuan was a little surprised. She didn't even ask herself where the money came from to buy gifts, just asking you out for a meal. But it's kind of interesting. Tomorrow afternoon at 3:30. At the entrance of the Huda University, Yuan will be riding his beloved little donkey, humming a little tune, leisurely heading to the appointment. Stopped at the school gate, parked a car with the license plate number of 56 Audi. Is the young man waiting for someone? The owner of the car is an older man. Yuan responded. Uncle, are you also here? The uncle said he is here to pick up his goddaughter. Not long after, a girl dressed in a light pink dress, looking beautiful and delicate, came out of the school gate. She is the vice president, Zhao Yuqi. Yuan was fascinated for a moment, and couldn't help himself. Young man, don't stare. You need to work hard to make money. Otherwise, all these beauties will be taken by your uncles. At this moment, Zhao Yuqi also saw Yuan. In her eyes, Yuan was not just a student at the moment. He was a prince charming riding a steed, coming to pick her up for a date. Zhao Yuqi was completely captivated, just took a glance and fell into the abyss of love. Young man, when you can afford to drive my car? Uncle muttered to himself. Zhao Yuqi had already ridden on Yuan's donkey, and then, in his incredibly shocked gaze, the two young people were about to start a pleasant afternoon. That was the irretrievable youth of the past. Watching the two people go away, the uncle's heart was incredibly complex, because he knew that no matter how much money he made, he couldn't go back to the past. Time is the most valuable thing. Just not long ago, Yuan rode his little donkey to take Zhao Yuqi to eat crayfish. Zhao Yuqi was full of fantasies. She thought this man was her donkey prince. Suddenly, Yuan's words interrupted her fantasy. Yuan stopped the car and came to a lobster restaurant. This was his favorite restaurant. Then they ordered a spicy and garlic dish. After the dishes were served, Yuan wiped the table for Zhao Yuqi, including the utensils. This simple food stall, coupled with his genteel manner, made Zhao Yuqi appreciate a different kind of charm. Be moderate in dealing with people and things. Be a little more attentive. Be a little colder, obviously strict in upbringing. Ready. Yuan began to eat heartily. The reserved and contrived pen strokes, but Zhao Yuqi thinks that although Yuan is so wealthy, he accompanies her to eat street food, in the hope that she will not feel pressured. He's really a gentle and refined flower. Stop your daydreaming, girl. You're in the late stages of delusion. Just by thinking about it, your affection level increased by 10 points. Yuan looks bewildered. What's going on? Why did it suddenly rise for no reason? I really don't understand. Then Zhao Yuqi personally peeled the shrimp tail meat to feed Yuan, because in her eyes, Yuan is the sacred prince. Yuan, thank you. Let me peel the shrimp for you. Zhao Yuqi blushed. She was a little shy and a little bold. Just as Yuan was eating shrimp, two customers walk in at the door. Among them is Yuan's materialistic ex-girlfriend, Lin Shutong. Lin Shutong suspects that she must be seeing things. The campus belle Zhao Yuqi is actually personally feeding Yuan shrimp. First Sulele, now Zhao Yuqi. Yuan is so capable? Lin Shutong was somewhat puzzled. I'm more and more confused about Yuan. Then, to avoid an embarrassing situation, there are too many people here. Let's go eat somewhere else. Huang Kai caught Lin Shutong. Are there many people? I think there are mostly acquaintances, right? As for me, I just love to eat in crowded places. The more people, the better. Then Huang Kai came up behind Yuan. He then threw out 5 100 yuan bills and yelled. So you're called Yuan, huh? This is 500 yuan, give up your seat to me. Get lost. Facing the formidable Huang Kai, how should Yuan unleash the maximum and most effective counterattack? Here he comes. The materialistic ex-girlfriend finally reaps what she sowed, and the one who teaches her a lesson, precious. Just a short while ago, Yuan and Zhao Yuqi coincidentally ran into his ex-girlfriend on a date. Huang Kai threw out 500 directly, making Chen Yuan give up his seat. Looking at the 5 100 bills on the table, Chen Yuan was speechless for a moment. What is this kid playing at? Does he really think he's handsome? Chen Yuan remained silent. Huang Kai threw out another 500. Not enough? Will 1,000 be enough to make you move? At this point, Zhao Yuqi, who was standing by, couldn't take it anymore. Chen Yuan was somewhat surprised. It's being invaded by Bai Jing's own self. Why is she so angry? How dare this wild dog interfere with my perfect date? Where did this stray dog come from and dare to meddle with my perfect date? When she saw Chen Yuan, she remained silent. Huang Kai takes out $1,000. In seconds, a pair of big hands presses the money on the table. Chen Yuan gives a cheeky smile and looks at Huang Kai. Big brother, you are too polite. Let me add a table for you. Upon hearing this, Huang Kai gets furious. Adding a skin, is this about adding a table? Suddenly, Huang Kai was hit by a hard bag and had a tooth knocked out. Chen Yuan looked to the side, only to see Zhao Yuqi innocently saying, I didn't. It wasn't me. You spicy hothead, Huang Kai, you eat my food, wear my clothes, drive my car, and still use my money to pick up girls? Suddenly, a massive figure appears. Chen Yuan turned around and was immediately drenched in sweat. He saw a muscular woman 2.5 meters tall, staring angrily at Huang Kai. Huang Kai was greatly startled. This was his real girlfriend, Wei Shaoqing. Zhuang Mei sprays wildly at Huang Kai. Huang Kai immediately offers his affection, saying he only belongs to her. He will never betray her. Then he grabs Lin Shutong's hair. She seduced me first. This shameless womanizer. You're talking nonsense. Clearly, you were the one who made the appointment with me first, and you still claim to be single. As she spoke, Huang Kai slapped her across the face. Lin Shutong is so ugly now. She never imagined breaking up with Chen Yuan and being with Huang Kai would lead to such an outcome. Shut up, woman. As Huang Kai cursed, he was about to start again. Suddenly, a big hand stopped him. Hit a woman? Do you think you're not embarrassing enough? Lin Shutong was deeply moved. She finally understood. The one who truly loves herself is Chen Yuan. As she thought about it, Lin Shutong's favorability rating has increased to 95. This also means that Lin Shutong has completely fallen and become a loyal bootlicker for Chen Yuan. Licking dog. He received 5,000 RMB cashback. The road to a counterattack begins. If I give you 2 million, but you have to date this 200-pound rich woman. Do you want to? This guy with the blonde hair did it for the money, but he used the money given by the rich woman to play around with girls. Now he's been caught red-handed by the rich woman. Immediately, the guy with the blonde hair attacked Lin Shutong. He even said that Lin Shutong actively seduced him. Chen Yuan on the side stopped Huang Mao. Looking at Chen Yuan, who had pursued her for 2.5 years, Lin Shutong was moved to tears. At the same time, she became Chen Yuan's devoted dog completely, and Chen Yuan's body also gained some strengthening from this. Faced with an ordinary hoodlum, Chen Yuan immediately subdued him. The hoodlum lost face and became furious. He picked up a bottle of beer, ready to fight back, but what he didn't expect was that Chen Yuanjing smashed the bottle with his bare hands, and even sent it flying. It's not shameful for Huang Kai to live off a woman, but living off a woman and hitting her is undeniably despicable. Huang Kaisen's is unwilling in his heart. Suddenly, he took out a knife from his pocket. Be careful, Chen Yuan. This scene scared Zhao Yuqi. She quickly reminded. At this moment, Huang Kai is seeing red. He needs to save face. But Chen Yuan is too fast. He snatches the knife away. Then he grabs Huang Kai and throws him down. At this moment, the lobster restaurant has experienced a slight tremor. Huang Kai completely fainted. Onlookers watching the show exclaimed in surprise. The slap came too quickly. Also, Chen Yuan was quite handsome just now. Then Chen Yuan is about to leave with Zhao Yuqi. While Lin Shutong was kneeling on the ground, looking at Chen Yuan, she held Chen Yuan in remorse, saying, Chen Yuan, I was wrong. I was blind. Can you give me a chance to start over? But Chen Yuan remembered the past. The former Chen Yuan ran 10 kilometers with Lin Shutong on his back at 3 in the morning, to go to the emergency room. The former Chen Yuan praised half a year ago. Gave Lin Shutong a mobile phone but was criticized for not being the latest model. Chen Yuanming, who used to be, knew that Lin Shutong was vain, but always believed that she would come back one day. But unfortunately, the boy who loved her with all his heart passed away, and all of this was chosen by Lin Shutong herself. Lin Shutong remembered everything. I can't say a word. Just the non-stop falling tears are reminding her that it's all her own doing. Back at school. Sorry, Vice President. It's all in chaos tonight, disturbing your dinner. But Zhao Yuqi said. That's too formal, calling me president, just call me Chi-Chi. Besides, I don't feel disturbed at all. It turns out that I got to see a different side of someone. Then, Qin Yuan, feeling embarrassed, said he would treat next time. In just a few days, Qin Yuan has brought various surprises to Zhao Yuqi. And the more Qin Yuan acts, the more unpredictable he becomes to Zhao Yuqi. When she thought of this, she became even more curious about this man. Little did she know, she had already fallen into Qin Yuan's hands. Regrets. She abandoned the boy who loved her so much and got on the yellow-haired car. Now, she is heartlessly abandoned by the yellow-haired person. But in the end, the one who saved her is still Qin Yuan. It's just that the Qin Yuan who once loved her wholeheartedly no longer exists. Lin Shatong returned to the dormitory. She didn't care about getting her clothes wet in the rain, and just cried and threw herself into her roommate's arms. She kept saying Qin Yuan's name. It seems you've heard about it too. Qin Yuan gave Zhao Yuqi 100 million last night. I didn't expect this kid to be a rich guy. As soon as this news came out, Lin Shatong was instantly shocked. This news has spread everywhere. I thought you already knew. After confirming it's true, Lin Shatong couldn't hold back anymore, and tears gushed out uncontrollably. She cried and shouted Qin Yuan's name. At this moment, Lin Shatong is filled with deep regret. She hates herself for being so materialistic, and for abandoning the boy who wholeheartedly loves her. The sound of her sobbing echoes throughout the dormitory like a funeral drum. Meanwhile, Qin Yuan is playing video games on the other side. This is already my 20th consecutive win. My roommate is in shock. Yuanzi, did you eat oysters? Why are you so fierce? Are you a gaming genius, pretending to be one of us in daily life? Qin Yuan never expected the rewards to include some attributes. My consciousness and hand speed have improved unexpectedly. Yuanzi, why don't you become a live streamer? When you have millions of followers, take us for a ride. Once you've got a million fans, take us with you. Looking at himself in the mirror, Qin Yuan's confidence soared. The attribute points have brought about a qualitative change in his physique. Speaking of which, the current me, Ping Yuyan of Lake University. No, Ping Yuyan isn't even as strong as I am. After all, I have a system. I didn't know such a perfect body would be cheapened by any woman. Yuan, did you drop your phone in the toilet? Your phone is ringing. Hurry up and come out. Qin Yuan picked up the phone and looked at it. It's Jing calling. Thinking of how Su Lei lied to him the other day, Qin Yuan has lost much of his affection for her. He doesn't know what trick she's up to this time. Qin Yuan answers the phone. Su Lei, senior sister. Do you need me for something? At this point, Su Lei's crying came from the other end of the phone. Qin Yuan, I really don't know what to do. This is an old urban village. No one would ever expect that the glamorous and elegant Su Lei would live in such a messy place. Sobbing, Su Lei said. Qin Yuan, can you give me 500,000? She appears to be the dazzling school beauty. But in reality, she lives in a 10-square-meter doghouse, now with no way out. She finally dials that man's number. It turns out that Su Lei's father is a gambling addict. He has accumulated a lot of debt over the years. Her family used to be relatively affluent. But as her father continues to gamble, their financial situation is getting worse and worse. There are still a large amount of high-interest loans to repay. We urgently need money at home now. Su Lei really has no other choice. So she decided to borrow 50,000 from Qin Yuan. But Qin Yuan immediately agreed. And Su Lei asked for an account number. Su Lei didn't expect the process to go so smoothly. She quickly entered a series of account numbers. Describing the moment when she finished entering the account number, her card suddenly had a 9-digit balance. It's not 50,000, it's 500,000. Su Lei suspected that she had read it wrong. But after counting several times, it was indeed 500,000. Qin Yuan's explanation was, it's nothing, I accidentally pressed an extra zero. Hua Jing actually has 90 trillion, so this amount of money is nothing. After confirming it's true, Su Lei's scream came from the other end of the phone. At the same time, her fondness for Qin Yuan is also rapidly increasing. Thank you, brother Yuan. I will definitely repay you. This timely rescue made Sileo feel loved. At this moment, her affection level has reached 94. Qin Yuan was speechless. Dog liquor. We're at the perfect moment now. Should I just confess? Qin Yuan pondered, but immediately dismissed the idea, because those who first expose their sense of need are often in a weaker position. Whoever confesses first loses. In a standoff, momentum is key. If the enemy doesn't move, either do I. This is the military strategy of Qin Yi, as stated by Qin Yuan. The next morning, Qin Yuan and his roommate left the dormitory together. At this moment, someone called Qin Yuan's name. Qin Yuan turned back in confusion. It turned out to be his ex-girlfriend Lin Shetong. She brought some buns to the cafeteria for Qin Yuan. Her roommate is shocked. What's going on? Has the sun risen from the west? Lin Shetong actually brought breakfast for Qin Yuan. Brother Yuan. I also brought breakfast for you. At this moment, another voice came from beside. I guess you're tired of the cafeteria food. I specially made seafood congee for you. It's from Sulele. Now Qin Yuan is her Mr. Right. The two women looked at each other. They could both feel each other's hostility. Qin Yuan was speechless. He hadn't even said anything yet, and the two women started fighting. Qin Yuan. Suddenly, another figure appears. A roommate angrily complains. Are you gonna leave some for me? So, who will it be this time? The class beauty, school beauty, and campus belle are competing to deliver breakfast to a poor boy. And even fought over it. Even the second on the school beauty list, Zhao Yuqi, is no exception. She brought beef noodles and a gift from brother to Qin Yuan. The other two girls instantly felt the pressure. Hua Jing and Zhao Yuqi are much better than them. At this moment, Zhao Yuqi is like a long-reigning boxing champion. Welcoming the challenge from the two. The powerful sense of crushing. Let the two experience the momentum of the second place on the campus beauty list. Qin Yuan took the beef noodles with some confusion. How did you know I love beef noodles? We were eating crayfish yesterday. I guess you really like spicy food. Coincidentally, I know an authentic beef noodle soup shop. Qin Yuan secretly praised, truly a strong vice president. After receiving the beef noodle soup, Qin Yuan expressed gratitude. Zhao Yuqi said it's only natural. When sending breakfast, Hua Jing should definitely consider, only by knowing what they like to eat, can it be considered thoughtful. If you can't even think about these things, how can you say you like them? At this time, Lin Shetong and Su Lele looked extremely ugly. Zhao Yuqi, on the other hand, took the initiative to attack. With just one strike, she killed the other two without any effort. It didn't take any effort at all. At the same time, Zhao Yuqi took out a gift. This is to express gratitude to Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan took the box and looked at it. It was the latest release of Icon 5 Ma. His three roommates were envious. The vice president gave Qin Yuan a gift, and it's the latest model of the phone. Now seeing my bro getting gifts, I feel worse than killing them. Lin Shetong and Su Lele were also shocked. You should know this phone costs over 20,000. Zhao Yuqi is reluctant to accept it, and this phone is given away, further suppressing the two of them. Completely defeated, Qin Yuan accepts the phone. He entered the teaching building with Zhao Yuqi, chatting and laughing, leaving only the two with gloomy faces. Lin Shetong is very disappointed. She just wants to get Qin Yuan back now. Getting back the boy who loves her, but didn't expect it to be so difficult. It's been less than a week since we broke up, and already there are two new rivals. If a few more days pass, then you must be Lin Shetong. Let's find a place to talk. At this moment, Su Lele looked at Lin Shetong mournfully. Lin Shetong's face turned cold. What's there to chat about? It's all your fault, you wicked woman. Lin Shetong believed it was all because of Su Lele. Instead of getting angry, Su Lele just smiled faintly. Of course, we're discussing how to form an alliance. Lin Shetong didn't quite understand. Forming an alliance? Form what alliance? I mean, can you move away? You're too close, hey. Su Lele meant for the two of them to form an alliance. Fight together against a common enemy. Zhao Yuqi. But can they really defeat the powerful vice president? Just because the school beauty gave a phone worth 20,000, the man wants to give her a villa worth 20 million. The purpose is just to gain a little favor. Just a short while ago, Zhao Yuqi defeated two women, and got closer with Qin Yuan. All she relied on was an Icon mobile phone. This is the first time Qin Yuan has received a gift from a girl. He's actually quite happy about it. It's just that Zhao Yuqi's favorability is only 40 now. It's not as high as he imagined, only judging by appearances. Qin Yuan even thought that she had fallen in love with himself. But the goddess is indeed a goddess. Not only outstanding in temperament, but also very clever in means. You might think she is the prey, but in reality, she is the true hunter. Qin Yuan decided to find a way to push the progress forward. Just then, Qin Yuan received a message on his phone. It turned out to be Xiaomi, who apologized to Qin Yuan. She said she has social anxiety. It's not that she doesn't want to meet Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan sneered, is this what you call apologizing? No efforts were made to release the images. Do you really think that you can drop it anywhere? Suddenly, a new message popped up. He claimed to be the top one of Xiaomi Bangi Communication Group. Qin Yuan seems a little excited. Is this the legendary group of big shot anchors? After Qin Yuan joins the group, everyone from Bangi warmly welcomes him. but Qin Yuan says it's just a small amount of money, just for fun. At this time, a gang member said there was a deal, and asked Qin Yuan if he could take care of it. These nouveaux riches want to test my worth. I'll play with you guys. Qin Yuan is full of confidence, and not at all pretentious. Then Qin Yuan added his friend. It turns out the other party has a villa to sell, and asked if Qin Yuan was interested. Also sent the location. Qin Yuan opened the map to take a look. The villa is located in Jiangkou district. You should know this is a famous wealthy area. A villa here costs at least tens of millions. Without much thought, Qin Yuan agreed to come down. We'll go see the house tomorrow. Once we have the villa, Qin Yuan won't believe he can't secure the vice presidency. Meanwhile, inside the Jianghui villa area, a bald uncle was surprised. He was just joking. Didn't expect Mr. Yen really bought it. The Dragon King is not too surprised. If the other party is really a big spender, you can make some new friends. After all, this is a person who doesn't even flinch at tens of millions. As for what kind of person it is, we'll know once we get there. Shortly after, Qin Yuan received the specific address. Just waiting for Qin Yuan to come and look at the house, Qin Yuan looked at Zhao Yuqi and began to smirk. I wonder how much her favorability would increase if I gave her a villa. I'm really looking forward to it. Just a while ago, Qin Yuan brought Zhao Yuqi to the wealthy villa area at Jiangkou. They had just arrived, and found an uncle waiting at the entrance of the villa for a long time. The bald uncle warmly welcomed them. Oh my, you must be Mr. Yen. You're really going overboard. Watching the young Qin Yuan. He's even brought a pretty lady along. The bald guy even suspects that Qin Yuan might be a young master from some hidden aristocratic family. If that's the case, then today's price is not negotiable. Guan is extending his hand for an introduction. His name is Hong Yuan Xiao. He has been doing some small businesses. Because of capital turnover issues, had to sell the villa. He then asked the two to go in and see the house. The total construction area of the villa is a total of 500 square meters. There are 3 swimming pools alone. The interior decoration and furniture, all custom made by top designers. And the balcony faces the river. Whether it's the scenery or feng shui, it's top-notch. If it weren't for the lack of money, you'd want to live here even if you were bald. Zhao Yuqi is shocked. Is Qin Yuan planning to buy this villa? This villa must be worth at least a few million, right? The location is indeed excellent. Qin Yuan interrupts Guangguang. Just ask him directly how much. The bottom line for him is 50 million. But he has to overstate a bit to leave some room. That way, it's easier to negotiate. So, he quoted a price of 60 million. Qin Yuan sighed after listening. Baldy thought, is it really overpriced? Only 60 million, that's acceptable. This comment surprised Baldy. I didn't expect it to be not too expensive but too cheap. Just thinking about this, Guangtou just wishes he had reported a 98 million just now. Chichi, do you think we should buy this house? Qin Yuan looked at the panicked Zhao Yuqi. Zhao Yuqi looked somewhat confused. She doesn't understand why Qin Yuan is asking her. You're asking me? It doesn't matter to me whether you buy it or not. Qin Yuan immediately responded. This house is bought for you. A villa worth 60 million is given away casually. This kind of wealth and generosity makes even a bald man feel uneasy. And Zhao Yuqi herself is a bit afraid. It's not 6,600, it's 60 million. Even Qin Yuan, who is generous, should have a limit. Could it be a new type of trap? First let me indulge in it. Obedience water. Finally, knock me out and take me somewhere to deceive me. Just the thought of it. Zhao Yuqi showed no excitement. Instead, she was incredibly afraid, but Qin Yuan held Zhao Yuqi's hand. Chi-Chi, listen to me, hasn't the real estate market been restricted recently? I have too many properties under my name, and I want to hang one in your place, and I also hope to give you a home. When Qin Yuan's words are carefully considered, there are many loopholes, but in the eyes of a girl who loves to fantasize, this is the Donkey Prince's confession to her. Is it only legally married couples that can book a room? Is Qin Yuan trying to marry me? The thought made Zhao Yuqi fall into it, and unable to extricate herself, she began to aggressively self-strategize. Qin Yuan seized the opportunity to increase his efforts. What's our relationship? Who can distinguish between us? Now Zhao Yuqi is too embarrassed to think. Her mind is full of Qin Yuan. As she continues to self-strategize, her feelings for him are rising rapidly. And Qin Yuan's acting skills are becoming more and more exquisite. He even thinks, with his current acting skills, he could win an Oscar. At this point, the secretary nudged Baldy. Boss, look at how generous he is. When will you also give me a set? Seeing Qin being so generous, the secretary also felt flustered. Baldy could only make empty promises for now. He didn't not want to give, but I really can't afford to give it as a gift. Licking dog. After the bald guy finishes the procedures and moves in, then transfer over the remaining 50 million. The bald guy said it could be done in a few days. Then she smiled and sent Qin away. The secretary beside her was lost in thought. She really wanted to know if Qin still needed a secretary. Currently, Zhao Yuqi's favorability has reached 90. She only needs 5 more points to seal the deal. Licking dog. Qin gave her a gift of 60 million for the villa, and a cashback of 7 million for the 10 million worth of gifts. Sitting in the car, Zhao Yuqi keeps peeking at Qin. Based on her experience of reading novels about overbearing presidents, Qin just said something so embarrassing. She must be about to confess her feelings next. As she thought about it, Zhao Yuqi couldn't help but immerse herself in the fantasy again. She even imagined that their wedding would be in Milan, still held in the Alps. And she has already started thinking about the child's name, even imagining the scene of the two growing old together. Girl, stop overthinking, hey. You'll soon be 95. We're here. Suddenly, Qin's words interrupted Zhao Yuqi's fantasy. It turned out that the car had already arrived at the entrance of the lake. Zhao Yuqi asked Qin why he didn't get out of the car. Qin said his roommate had invited him to go to the internet cafe to play games. Then there was no self-introduction, and the taxi driver quickly drove to the internet cafe. Zhao Yuqi was dumbfounded. This shouldn't be happening. It's different from what I imagined. Where's my confession? It just happened. Qin had just arrived at the internet cafe to team up with his roommates for a gaming session. Yuan-zi, why are you only just arriving? We've finished a game already. Hurry up and start the machine. Fatty's cutting vegetables is not good. We're waiting for you. Stepfather, I will fly you now. Qin is going to start a $20 machine, but he did not notice that the front desk was Sulele. He was very puzzled. Sulele was a member of the school flower group, but she worked in an internet cafe. It turned out that Sulele's father owned this internet cafe. It was also thanks to Qin. The debt owed by her family has been repaid. In gratitude to Qin, she directly issued a lifetime membership card to Qin for unlimited computer access. Just then, a loud noise came from the door. Several strange uncles just came in. You're old Sue's daughter, right? When will your old man pay us back? I already paid back the 5 million last time. Why do we still need to pay back? The uncle said it was the principal. There's also 15 million in interest. Upon hearing this, Sulele was furious. This is clearly a scam. No more nonsense. Today I can't come up with 15 million. You come with us. With your looks, you can earn enough money to pay off the debt in 2 years. Just then, Qin made his move. He grabbed the strange uncle and immobilized him. Qin saved me, for some reason. When I see Qin, I feel an inexplicable sense of security in my heart. Get him, kill him. In an instant, several hooligans rushed out and charged at Qin. But Qin just gave a cold look. He exerted a powerful dragon tail whip, and gave the uncle a fierce kick. The 3 roommates were all shocked. This is clearly the blind monk's ultimate skill, cyclone kick. Wow, when did Yuanzi become such a good fighter? At this moment, in the eyes of his roommate, Qin is like his most skilled hero, blind monk. Engaged in a fierce battle, the real strong ones have already brought the game into reality. We did lose unjustly. Just a moment. Several weird uncles made threats and were scared off by Qin. Brother Yuan, thank you for saving me once again. I was so scared just now. At this moment, Sulele's favorability finally reached 95, becoming Qin's lapdog. At the same time, the 5.3 million he spent on her also got a rebate of 530,000, just when Qin was ecstatic. 2 people walk in front of the door. It's Lin Shutong, my ex-girlfriend. Sulele, you are unfaithful. Lin Shutong shouted. You, this bad woman, said you would ally with me? The result is that it lured Qin into eating alone here. Seeing this, Qin quietly let the system enhance all the reinforcement points received, and added them to agility. Then, he quietly left this place of controversy. Now both girls have been conquered. Only the last vice president, Zhao Yuqi, is left for Li. Qin, who had nothing to do, came to the playground for a walk. Now Lin Shutong and Su Lel have completed their conquests. Zhao Yuqi is almost there. If you don't find a new object soon, you will end up being left with no one to choose from. Can you move to the side, please? You are disturbing others. Suddenly, a jade hand patted Qin. A sporty girl in sportswear appears. She asks Qin to step aside. Because the playground has been requisitioned by the sports society. Preparations for the short-distance race are underway. Qin Yuan is worried about having no partner. I just happened to find one, though a bit fierce, but not bad-looking. You can let me go, alright? Just add my contact information. Qin Yuan took out his phone. Stop. What are you doing? Suddenly, a sharp and rough voice came from the side. I am her boyfriend. You better give up on her. Get out, the girl's boyfriend is coming. He starts ranting at Qin Yuan. Suddenly, Qin Yuan recognizes him. It turns out in high school, Qin Yuan secretly admired a girl named Xiao Ruyu. But once discovered by this person, they beat up Qin Yuan and said Qin Yuan was not worthy of pursuing Xiao Ruyu, a toad wanting to eat swan meat. Don't even pee and look at yourself. Why don't you hurry and roll? Qin Yuan sneered coldly. It's really a narrow road for enemies. Licking dog. And the target of the operation is the sports society goddess, He Jing. If successful in the strategy, you will gain more than 20 high-strength points. Thinking of this, Qin Yuan's interest becomes even stronger. The competition is about to begin. The pot-lid man is full of confidence, because in the school short race, he has no opponents. The pot-lid man smiles slightly towards the audience. He Qixia is not just a small fan, she screams. Husband, come on. Husband, you are the best. The man with glasses suddenly noticed something wrong, because there was also a person squatting outside the track. He doesn't seem to be a participant. As the referee fired the starting gun, the race officially began. Just beginning. The pot-lid quickly surged into first place. In his view, everyone else was just ants. It's no surprise that he's in first place again. But right at that moment, the figure outside the track starts to exert force. In just a blink of an eye, he has overtaken the pot-lid. The pot-lid shouts, Impossible. How could this be so fast? But for Qin Yuan, who has turned into Zhou, nothing is impossible. The strategy to win Heezy's heart starts right here. But Qin Yuan unexpectedly overtakes. And the speed is getting faster and faster. Qin Yuan is determined to excel in the field, in which the pot-lid is most skilled, and defeat it. The lid was immediately red with anger, because the lid is about to be unlocked at this moment. His golden right foot, with muscular calves, is the reason he can be faster than others. I don't know who you are, but I will let you see. What is the demeanor of the emperor? I wanted to show off. As a result, the pot-lid found that the other person was gone. The next second, Qin Yuan appeared next to the pot-lid, once again surpassing him. That's when Potluck realized, the unknown boy. He overtook him by a full lap. This is unbelievable. You've been practicing for 10 years. It's not as good as a week of my system. The audience and the referee are all abuzz at this point. They witnessed a miracle. Even Astro Boy would have to come here. And finally, with the shouts of the crowd cheering and dancing, he finished one lap around the field, 400 meters, in just 41 seconds. Heejin could hardly believe it. It was precisely because of the speed of his pot-lid that she agreed to be with him. I didn't realize that Potato Head was losing the race for speed, the referee yells in excitement. A new champion is born. You broke the record. Even beyond the limits of mankind. But we know nothing about him. He's not even a contestant. At this time, the coach walked over. He saw that Qin Yuan had extraordinary potential. He asked Qin Yuan if he was interested in joining the track team. He could be recommended for the national team. Coach, isn't this spot supposed to be for me? Wage cried. I'm sorry, I'm not interested. Qin Yuan immediately refused the coach. At this moment, Ying not only looks at Qin Yuan, but also feels unexplainably. It's like this guy suddenly becomes handsome. As she thinks about it, her liking for him increases a little. What's wrong with you? Distracted. Lid took a bottle of water and asked. Yingli quickly said no. She's just a little worried about the lid. Little did they know, Ying's affection for Qin Yuan is growing. But Qin Yuan, who senses all this, just chuckles. It looks like things are about to get interesting. In order to retaliate against Qin Yuan, Guigai calls upon his underlings. They slandered Qin Yuan as a scumbag on the campus network. The news spread rapidly within a day. Not long ago, Zhao Yuqi returned to the dormitory with joy in her heart. She said to Xiaofei. Qin Yuan gave her a set of houses today. What shocked Xiaofei even more was that it was not an ordinary house, but a villa worth 60 million. Zhao Yuqi asked Xiaofei to check the housing prices in Jiangkou district. That fat guy selling houses, is he deceiving people? Xiaofei picked up his phone to search. What he found, however, was astonishing. Because on the campus network, someone posted that Qin Yuan is a top scumbag, stepping on countless boats. Two sisters look bewildered. Qin Yuan turns out to be a scumbag? At the same time, Qin Yuan learns about this. He's super unhappy. I'm clearly the scatterbrained money spender, alright? This is obviously slander, but I have been rather high profile recently. It might have rubbed someone the wrong way, but who could it be? In another male dormitory. The post was made by the three of them. It's already causing a stir at school. Just then, the scapegoat for losing the match suddenly appeared. He asked the three what they were doing. Brother Yang. Recently, there's a student named Qin Yuan who's quite talented. We're in the process of handling him. The pot lid recognized him on the spot. Isn't this the same guy who raced with himself? At the same time, the pot lid remembered. He looks a lot like the guy who beat him up in high school. No, wait, it is him, he is Qin Yuan. Just thinking about this makes the bad ideas pop into my head. He actually knows quite a bit about Qin Yuan. Then the three younger brothers made the lid talk. Finally, they sent it out. To let more people know. So what if we win the game? How about the coach likes your rebellion? I want you to be discredited. Not long. This post has been updated with detailed content. The content reveals that Qin Yuan frequently engages in PUA attacks on women. And he was a famous sweet talker in high school. Even his behavior affected everyone's learning. This matter quickly fermented. Students and teachers in the school knew about this. Now Qin Yuan has become a big celebrity in the school. Principal's office. The principal smashes the phone with a slap. The principal will not allow troublemakers in the school. He will personally investigate, and if it's true, he must expel such scum. So what's next? How will Qin Yuan counterattack?